Greetings YouTube and welcome to my next crafting project, yet another non-weapon build. I actually need a trimming tool. I had a trimming tool at work. It was about 4 inches long, it was metal, it had two different ends, it was kind of a shiny chrome thing. And I acquired it, I found it in a damaged toolbox that the company was going to throw away. We actually found it inside a press. I guess somebody had stuck it in there at some point, forgot it was there. And it was a nice little tool, about 4 inches long. And I used it to trim parts. I could get in there with this little steel bit, and it would help me trim parts. And I found out years later that it was some kind of a cuticle tool. I had no idea what a cuticle tool was. It was just a handy tool. The problem is that someone else thought it was a nice tool too, so they stole it. So I don't have that tool anymore. But I still need a trimming tool to help me with certain things at work. So I am going to take this file and turn it into a trimming tool. Now this end is already pretty much the perfect size, perfect shape for what I need. I am going to need to shorten it up. It's a little bit too pointy, and I really want to be able to have it probably about there. That would be about perfect. So I'll mark that off and just whack that off with my angle grinder. And then I don't need a tool this long, so I will probably measure it and cut it off about here. And then I'm thinking of actually grinding a somewhat, about probably a 60-degree angle on, when I cut a 60-degree angle on it, so that I can then have a stouter end in the event I find myself in a situation where I need something that's a little on the beefier side for removing something. And that'll give me a little bit more options. And then I'm going to knock the edges off on my belt sander. But the tooth on this particular file is not very rough. I will probably take the corners down a little bit, but it's not rough enough to cause a problem even to my bare hands, and most of the time when I'm at work I am trimming with a pair of gloves on, so that's even less of an issue. But right now, right here, this is a pretty good fit and it's the right shape, and it doesn't need any work. I may right here, I may smooth that transition down a little bit, or maybe not. I'll see. I may actually, that may be something I take to work and try. And if I decide, yeah, I really do want to take that down, I can bring it home and I can fix it again. But we'll keep it like this for right now to see how it works. So this is going to be a project of whacking it off here, cutting an angle on one end, and then polishing the whole thing up here and there with the belt sander to make sure there aren't any sharp edges, because I am trimming silicone and rubber parts, so I don't want sharp edges. Sometimes I have to get into small spaces that are filled with rubber and you have to pop the rubber out, because the rubber actually has a cutoff. It's just not a very good cutoff, because some of these molds I'm working on are very old. You'd be amazed how the company still produces really old parts for cars and things. It always amazes me. We're still making this one particular part for a Jeep, and we've been making the thing for like 30 years. And people are still buying the damn seals. They must be very popular, because we keep making them. So, 2 cuts and then some cleanup, and this particular project is going to be short and sweet. So here we have the finished tool. Again, that, I don't know, 60 degrees. I just cut that blind. I didn't measure it out. Comes to an edge, but not much of one. And then this one, I ended up narrowing it just a little, because I wanted it a little bit finer than it ended up being. And then I left this section the exact same profile it was when I started, and I brought the top down so that it's kind of a gentle curve. Then I knocked all the edges off. And this will let me have a situation where I can come in like this underneath something very quickly. And if I need to get something that's a little more robust, I've got this option here. I can get in like this, or I can get in like that. This is going to be the end that I'm probably going to use most of the time, because this was the end, the basic shape of the one that I had in the past. Now, one of the big advantages to this is that it is square, because the last one was round. And while it was steel, so if I dropped it on the bench, it really didn't go far. It could roll, because not everything in my location is level. This is not going to do that. So that's just like, and again, this is quite comfortable, doesn't cause me any problems, gives me a very positive grip. And I can come in there now and have this available, and it's a little bit longer than the last one, which I think gives me a slightly better purchase. And this is a unique enough tool that no one's going to steal it, because this looks like mine. And I have this little bit left over, which I can probably find some use for at some point. Maybe I'll make a custom file out of it, maybe I'll make a custom pry bar, who knows. But I might find a use for that in the future. And this particular file I picked up, I paid probably a quarter for it at a community yard sale. The Lions Club was raising money, and I think I paid, I paid $5 for a lot of things that included a baseball bat, a sweater, a pair of vice grips, and an entire handful of files. So I didn't pay much for this at all, and it's going to replace the tool that I had stolen. So now I can take this to work and to put it into my new toolbox, which you may have also seen in a recent video, and get to work trimming. So yay for making your own tools and giving new life to an old file, because it was obviously not used much in the last 20 years. So now it's going to have a new purpose. So I appreciate that. I like reusing things. I like getting things back into the workforce, as it were. So thanks for being here for this build. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you don't follow me on DeviantArt and on Instagram, you should, where you can find my permanent weapon builds at DeviantArt, and Instagram, where I post pictures of things I make, as well as adorable cat pics. So thank you for being here, and I hope that you'll be here next time.